The next domino in college football realignment and expansion could be about to fall. According to CBS Sports, the Big 12 is in deep discussions to add 6 teams from the Pac-12: Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Oregon, and Washington. What does this mean for college football, the Big 12, and the Pac-12? Let's dive into the news and break it all down. I'm Steven Lassen. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Steven L. CFB. We're staying on top of all things realignment and expansion in college football right now. It's no secret that college football is full of chaos and uncertainty right now. And as we look ahead to the landscape of college football right now, the Big 12 and the Pac-12 have a lot of overlap in terms of potential membership as the Pac-12 looks to replace USC and UCLA. But this time around, the Big 12, what a difference a year makes, seems to have more stability and is being aggressive and smart with expansion. Those 6 teams, once again, Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Oregon, Utah, and Washington. 6 solid programs, great geography in terms of fits for these 6 teams. The Big 12 could really strike a massive blow to the Pac-12 if they can land these 6 programs. Again, what a difference a year makes from the Big 12. A year ago, they were trying to replace Oklahoma and Texas, and this time around, the Big 12 is poised to strike potentially a major blow to the future of the Pac-12. Keep in mind, both the Pac-12 and the Big 12 television deals come up about the same time, so adding to the Big 12 membership would be huge from a television, from a revenue standpoint. This would also get the Big 12 ahead of the Pac-12 in terms of television negotiations. The question this offseason throughout realignment has been the Big 12 or the Pac-12. Which one of these conferences would emerge stronger after USC and UCLA left to join the Big Ten? Kind of a lot of same geography, overlap potentially in membership. It seems like one of these conferences had potential to emerge stronger. And right now, the Big 12, if this story holds true, the potential for this conference to move up the food chain in college football and add 6 teams would be significant to the future of the conference. You see it on the screen there, a potential 18-team Big 12 with the Oregon and Washington logos to go with Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, and Colorado. Again, this is a potentially a fun conference in terms of just geography and potential rivalries. You know, there's no Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma top-tier program that could probably dominate the league on a year-to-year basis. But if this holds true, a really strong 18-team membership from the Big 12, a lot of potential for fun rivalries, getting Utah and BYU back in the same conference. You have Cincinnati joining in 2023, just made the college football playoff. Houston, the willingness to invest. They've won a New Year's 6 bowl game. So a lot of intrigue, and I think a potentially a very solid top to bottom league if the Big 12 can strike a blow to the Pac-12. We have to stress that this is still in the discussion stage and nothing is finalized. It's also important to note that right as this story broke, the Pac-12 authorized its board of directors to begin negotiating its media rights deal. And that right there is a sign that the Pac-12 is trying to do everything it can to keep the league together, potentially to show the teams interested in leaving that there is a plan, that the television revenue will be there and it will be better than a potential Big 12 conference. However, no doubt about it, the Pac-12's future is clearly in doubt, especially when you talk about taking those 6 teams away from the league. Oregon and Washington, the Pac-12's top remaining brands. Utah has been so good under Coach Kyle Whittingham. If those 6 teams leave, that leaves California, Oregon State, Stanford, and Washington State as the only teams remaining in the conference. So right now, it's just in the discussion stage. This gives the Pac-12 every opportunity to try and keep this league together. Obviously, the media rights is one part of that, but the Pac-12 is in a race against time because the Big 12 is being aggressive and right now they have more stability and the potential to add these members and strike a major blow to the Pac-12. So to summarize, right now the Big 12 is aiming to take away the Pac-12's best programs. The Pac-12 has just 10 members, with USC and UCLA off to the Big 10. If the Big 12 lands these 6 programs, it would deal a massive setback for the Pac-12. The Pac-12 obviously has to act fast, has to be able to get the media rights deal, find some stability, and keep this membership together if this conference wants to exist as a major conference in college football. We've talked about it all offseason. The Big 12 or Pac-12, which conference has more leverage? The TV networks, of course, have a major say in all this too, which is right now the Big 12 seems to have the upper hand. And as we think in the bigger picture right now, with all the dominoes that have fallen in college football realignment and expansion the last 2 years, if we look ahead, right now the Big 12 potentially adding teams from the Pac-12 and Notre Dame and whatever they decide to do are the biggest dominoes remaining on the board right now as we look ahead for what might happen in college football realignment and expansion for the summer of 2022. We keep saying it, but the only certainty in college football right now is chaos and uncertainty, and there's guaranteed to be more expansion and realignment news for college football. We're going to stay on top of this Big 12 expansion story, whether or not Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah join the Big 12, or can the Pac-12 keep things together? I'm Steven Lasson. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Steven L. CFB. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram. We're going to be staying on top of this story, as well as bringing you coverage for preseason and in-season coverage for college football.